We all well and truly know that FTMO are the biggest and the best in the prop firm. They are the creme de la creme of the prop firm space. If you want a phone, you'll go to Apple. If you want a prop firm account, you'll go to FTMO. Um, that's what I've always thought. Okay, I've always agreed with this. I've always had this, but for the people that I trade with and work with, I've seen a lot of things that have been happening that make me kind of question their authenticity. Are they really like what everyone makes them out to be? So looking at the website, they have 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. They've been nominated for multiple things. They've been on Forbes. I mean, anyone can go on Forbes if you want to pay for it. But we all know that they're the biggest. They've been here since 2015. Like I wasn't even what was I doing at 15? I don't even think I was at high school at 15. So, it's kind of like they've been around for a while. We all know this. But the things that have transpired this morning are very worrying, and we're going to go into it now. A friend, a trader of mine, recently has been trading with FTMO, been trading with FTMO for a long period of time, and recently their accounts have been deemed as too risky, right? This person that we're talking about has pulled out 6 figures from FTMO. And recently they've been started to be a bit strict. But let me give you the timeline. So around 3 months ago, this person was offered an interview with FTMO from a payout which was around $40,000. And the interview was declined, right? You do not have to go on to do an interview with a prop firm if you don't want to. A lot of people, not his case, but a lot of people are anxious. A lot of people aren't good in front of a camera, So basically, this person declined an interview. Once this happened, the client got another account, passed it, was trading on it, etc. Then all of a sudden, and this is one thing that isn't really talked about in the industry, a 1% rule. But what does this rule entail? This means that you can't risk more than 1% on per trade. So, for example, if you're in EU and you're in a 10 lot, you can only risk 10 pips. So you can only risk 1% per trade, which I think, quite frankly, is bullshit. There's no way that a prop firm should be able to go, well, they can. This is the issue. There's no way I think that a prop firm should be able to tell you how to trade. I don't think that's fair, right? And I don't think that FTMO have any power, which they do, okay? I don't think they should have any power to deem your trading as too risky or this or that. You think they've got a risk management team? They've got a risk management team for their pockets. They haven't got a risk management team for your accounts, right? They've got a risk management team for their pockets. How much money are they making? Are you deemed as too risky for their revenue? Which makes sense, right? But at the same time, it's like, let the trader trade how they want to trade. And if the trader gets payout, that's why you are a prop firm. That's the risk you are willing to take. But no, FTMO now go on the other side of the fence and go, actually, why don't we just fuck this guy up? Why don't we just tell him he can't do this, he can't do that, he can't do this? So then he technically can't properly trade on our prop firm. So therefore, he will stop making too much money. So this trader that we're discussing turned around and said, okay, I'll stick to your 1% rule and I'm going to trade normally. So the trader stuck to the 1% rule, I believe made another payout, so on and so forth, and then decided to take another account challenge. The trader then, unfortunately, I believe, breached the 1% rule. And then they said, look, we're going to take the account off you. However, we'll give you another account. So now we're on this account that we're discussing today. So 1% rule, it's a $200,000 funded account. Challenge, you can't lose more than $2,000 per trade. Okay, this is excluding fees and things like that, a little bit of slippage and stuff like that. If you're risking 4%, then they're going to flag it, right? It's not exactly 1%. Well, we don't know. So then the trader passed the 2 stages of the FTMO account. And once those 2 stages were passed, FTMO sent an email, and we're going to go through the email now. Dear trader, obviously it would be his name, but I don't know if he wants his name out in there. On the 6th of November, we delivered the last notice to you regarding multiple points of concern with your usage of our services, namely one-sided betting. One-sided betting was never discussed with this trader. I've spoke with this trader. I spoke to the trader last night, this morning, etc. There was not one-sided betting discussed, right? So let's stop the email there and discuss what one-sided betting is. Going on to FTMO FAQs, we can go on to which instruments can I trade and what strategies am I allowed to use. So the first thing that I see on this is your trading style is up to you as long as your trading is legitimate and in line with proper risk management, right? Okay, cool. So that means you're telling me that I can trade however the fuck I want. Fair enough. So now we can go on to the gambling side of it, which is where one-sided betting kind of falls underneath. One-sided bets. A form of gambling can be open in one larger position on one instrument. Alternatively, this can include buying up a position in profit or heaven forbid, I don't know why they put that, in loss, which mentioned above. If the person itself is large and exceed if the position itself is large and exceeds the limit of the reasonable risk management, opening additional positions is pure gambling. So this isn't kind of one-sided betting. This is kind of like straddling. I think it is. I think it's where you add to your position, even in a loss or in a profit. This trader hasn't been doing this, and we'll go through his account in a minute. If the person, yeah, while it is true that opening additional positions on a profitable trade can be a profitable strategy in the event of a strong trend, are you really that confident about the long-term trend? Maybe I'm a confident trader. Why can you say anything about that? Like, you can't tell me how to trade because just before your trading style is up to you as long as your trading is legitimate and in line with proper risk management. So I can't trade how I want to trade. Like, what is this? It doesn't make sense. It's very like a gray area where it's like, you can't do this, but you could do this, and you can do this, but you can't do this. And it's like, but you're just contradicting yourself. So what's the point in making the rules in the fucking first place? This is doubtably true for opening a position at a loss because the desire to change the direction of the market as a position grows leads to unnecessary stress and possible big loss from which a trader can take a long time to recover. You cannot comment on the emotions of a trader. Okay, you can't. You can talk about statistics, you can talk about numbers, risk management, things like that, but you can't talk about the emotions of a trader. That's unfair. Simply put, something like this has nothing to do with serious trading at all. A serious trader, a real serious trader, has qualities. He has an so right, guys, come on. He, her, he, him. A real serious trader has qualities. He What about the women traders, FTMO? What about the women that are trading on your prop firm? It feels like a bit of a weird one, right? I don't know. I think they're Dutch or some shit, so I don't know how it. He has an advantage in his strategy, which that he can use, but not once, not twice. He can use it day after day, month after month, and year after year. Not a clue what this means, right? Not a clue what this means. I don't know why they put that in, but a one-sided bet usually looks so tricky that the trader simply risks a large amount of free margin on a single market event, usually driven by macroeconomic factors like the market trends to move quickly in one direction. Okay, so we're going to go through the account. Don't get me wrong. This one-sided betting they're not talking about one-sided betting. They're talking about like adding to the position, which is not necessarily one-sided betting. I guess it can leading to one-sided betting, but trust me, one-sided betting was not put onto the accounts. So the next part, indeed, your accounts, etc., exhibit systematic use risk per trade, idea higher than the 1% we agreed upon. Okay, so basically they're saying the 1% rule wasn't followed, which it was. For example, on your account, etc., on the 29th of November, you opened several trades on XAUUSD in quick succession. Please note that opening and closing positions on the same side or the same or correlated instruments quickly one after the other is considered a continuation of the same idea. No, it's fucking not. Because, for example, if we have gold down here, okay, and then you take a short, and then it then actually like wicks you out and stops you out, and then all of a sudden it moves into a massive supply zone 30 minutes later. Oh, how is that going to be the same trade idea? In 30 minutes, the complete bias could change on it, It just doesn't make sense. In your case, these trades are considered the one trade idea, and they do represent a breach of our request. As we have already delivered a notice to you in the past, yet you continue to use our services in a similar way, and with consideration of the whole track record you've accumulated, we are not willing to progress your FTMO verification into the FTMO account stage as per default process. With the above mentioned, as a solution for a case, an exemption measure instead of a termination of your order will provide a basically free FTMO challenge. So what FTMO have said is that you can't trade like this, you can't trade like this, you can't trade like this. However, in consideration, because you passed this stage 2, we'll just give you another challenge. So if they're really unhappy with this trader and they're really unhappy with their trading style, why would they give another challenge? It doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't they just breach them and say, we don't want anything to do with you anymore? After like a few times of there being a big incident. Now the issue is, right, the FTMO are doing this. FTMO, like we said at the before, they're the biggest prop firm in the industry. Is this an indication that the prop firm industry is slowly fucking declining? Is this an indication that the prop firm space is dying? Right, because if FTMO are adding these sanctions, right, these limitations on a prop firm account from a profitable trader, what would other prop firms do? Smaller prop firms, right? So I'll put a photo of the actual trade because I'm speaking to the trader. I'm trying to get the data. I'll put a photo of the actual trade on the screen right now, and we'll talk about it. So on the email, it states that the 29th of November is where you open several trades. Several trades weren't open, as you can see on the 29th of November. It was 2 trades, and one trade that was taken was a short gold, which was 5 lots at 1% risk, as they stated. And then the next trade was when they stopped out. 30 minutes later, they entered the same trade and held the trade for a long period of time. So they deem these 2 trades the same trade, which was a breach of the 1% rule, but that is bullshit because per trade was 1% risk. You can't say it's the same trade because it can be a completely opposite trade. And they were also stating that this was one-sided bets, which has never been discussed with a trader. Looking at the phase 1 and the phase 2, you can see there is consistency. The consistency score is over 80. The phase 1 and the phase 2 had multiple losses in them, but overall the trader made the profits, and yeah, they got their account breached, which is bullshit. And upon this discussion, I'm just going to put this at the end of the video. Guys, if you want a legitimate funded account challenge and you want to be with a reliable prop firm, trust me, go with Goat Funded Trader. They are becoming one of the biggest in the industry, and you need to jump on top of this wave. FTMO look like they're dying out, and even if they're not, they're still putting sanctions on your accounts. Goat Funded Trader has never put any sanctions or any risk or anything on a funded trader that's with GFT. They have even done a scaling plan for funded traders because they want to see funded traders succeed. Is it the trader's fault or is it FTMO's fault? I don't know what to say, but I thought I'd make a quick video on it for you guys to let you guys know what's going on in the prop firm space, and I'll give you guys some more updates in the near future. I'm very happy to be back making videos like this. So if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are, and then I will see you in the next video.